The next section of this video is about molarity, which is essentially the concentration of, let's say, a solution, or the amount of concentration you'll need to focus in AP Chemistry. So what molarity is, and you probably did a little bit on it in honors chem, is a fairly simple idea. You need to find out the moles of solute divided by the liters of solution. And the mathematical formula for this is M, big molarity, big M, is equal to moles, which is a little m, over volume. So molarity actually turns out to be a little more confusing as we continue in the course, only because there's so many different things you have to do in order to find it. But here, it's just finding the number of the solution. So, as an example, molarity of 3 moles of salt dropped into 5 liters of water. Well, I'm going to plug in for my variables. So, what is the molarity? So that's what I'm solving for. Equals 3 moles, so my little m is equal to 3, divided by my liters of water, which is the solvent. So, V is equal to 5. So, disregarding the actual variables, because you can't divide those as a number, I'm going to work with my 3 and my 5. So, m is equal to 3 over 5, and you can, most likely you won't leave it as a fraction. You'll change this into a decimal, so that'll be about 0.6, and of course never forget your units, so m. In addition to finding the value of the molarity, being able to manipulate the equation to find other information is equally as important, because if you're given a 5 molar solution, you need to be able to find out how many moles of solute and how many moles of solvent are in there. And you'll eventually be able to use this to find grams of solute in the solution and things like that. So another example would be how many moles of copper chloride are present in a 1.2 molar solution, that is 0.8 liters in volume. So let's set up our equation again. I have my molarity this time, so 1.2 m is equal to, how many moles do we have? Well, it doesn't tell us. We're solving for that. So m divided by 0.8 liters. So instead of dividing my moles by my liters, I'm going to change the equation around in order to go in my favor, essentially. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 0.8 liters so I can isolate my m on top, because if I multiply by this fraction, I'm going to undo the division. So I get my moles is equal to my 1.2 molar times my 0.8 liters. And so you're going to carry out that operation. In many cases you'll be given a calculator to do this, but always be expected to do it in your head if necessary. So I'm going to bring out my 1.2 multiplied by 0.8, and if you work it out, you end up getting 0.96, and again, never forget your units, moles of cupric chloride. And remember, if you're going to check your work, just plug in for the equation. So 0.96 divided by 0.8 will give me 1.2 if I divide it out.